Do you ever feel like your life is like a movie that you hate watching on repeat? It just keeps looping and looping. Well, in today's video, I want to talk to you about how you were programmed by school to be a great employee and not think for yourself. There's two things that we needed to learn when we were young, and that's math and learning how to speak. That's it. If you are in your adult life, you realize that you don't write anything down anymore. It's all typed out. You don't use calculus. You don't quote things from US history. It doesn't happen. The science book, you don't need it. There were two things you needed to learn, and that was how to speak, how to add, subtract, and multiply, and that's it. But why did they teach you all the filler stuff? What was that about? Well, that was about getting you comfortable with a monotonous task without questioning it. Think about when you talked out of turn in class, you were reprimanded for it. Yet the best communicators make the best money. They live the best lives. There are people that can stand on stage and talk, and those were likely the class clowns or the people that were always going to the principal's office. Have you ever thought about that? They get paid $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $100,000, $1 million to speak from stage for an hour. Meanwhile, you're working 20, 30 years to make $1 million. Do you see the divide and disconnect there? The school system was set up for you to become a good employee. It did not teach you anything useful past first grade. In kindergarten, they taught you how to color inside the lines. Have you ever thought about why? You're not an artist. You're just a kid. But that's the first step in getting you to conform to a life of monotonous tasks. If you color outside the lines, you don't fit in with the group, and now you're going to be reprimanded for it. I think one of the best things that we could have learned as kids when our brains were so malleable is about money. That's what this episode's about. If you are still young and you're on your way to your first paycheck or your 10th paycheck or your 50th paycheck, you need to listen up. Stop buying stuff that you don't need. There is a time and place for that, and it is not right now. If you put the money aside that you spend at the bar each week, if you're over 21, if you put the money aside that you buy on, or that you would spend on buying your 50th shirt when you don't wear the other 45, if you would put that aside for your future and let it compound and work for you, at the time that you don't want to work anymore, you'll actually have that option. You see, right now, a lot of people are scrambling because inflation is high, wages are low, the cost of goods are high. They don't know what to do. There's two scenarios for you. One is where you don't prepare for your future and you end up getting a blue vest and having to wave at people that are rude and disrespectful to you in your golden age. And there's another path that you can take where you prepare for your future and you live the life you want to live. The decision is yours. So here's some advice that I'm going to give you. If you are at the beginning stages, if you're on YouTube right now, which I guarantee you are because that's the only place I post, I want you to look up how investing works, number one. Number two, I want you to look up how fractional lending works. This is how the banks work. This is how they're able to loan out money 9-to-1 based on the collateral they have in the bank. I want you to look that up. I want you to understand how money actually works. Because while there was a lot of emphasis on letting a kid be a kid, we spend the majority of our lives in adulthood. That's a fact. You're not a kid after 12 or 13 years old. You certainly don't act like one after 13. So classifying you as one Nah, that wouldn't make sense. Now you have YouTube. If you're watching this on the younger side, don't squander that. Like, I didn't have YouTube growing up, so I didn't have the ability to learn about something without having to go to school for it. The dynamic has changed. There are millionaires being made at 14 and 15 years old these days. They understand the value of communication, and they figured out how to communicate to their peers and earn money from it. But first, you need to understand how money works, and then you need to put together a plan for yourself. I promise you, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. The people that ask you what you wanted to be when you grew up, they're looking for answers for their life because they still haven't figured it out. So I implore you to look up how to invest, look up how fractional lending works, look up how compound interest works. This can all be done in a day. Stop scrolling for a minute and make it happen. Your future self will absolutely thank you. Now, if you found any value in this video, I'd like you to leave the word money in the comments. This is a video that I wish I could have watched 20 years ago. It would certainly have changed my life. I hope you have a fantastic day, and the next video you watch is on finance. Bye for now.